and their headquarters in India. Good morning, Shreyash. Good morning, Keshav. So very first, good morning, Chandrasekhar. Good morning, Danesh. Very first organization we have, good morning, Abhijit. Okay, let's get back to recap. So the first one, Airports. Good morning, Krishna. Airports Authority of India, right, which is at New Delhi. Then Associated Chambers of Commerce and Industry of India, ASSOCHAM, which is again at New Delhi. Then Antriksh Corporation Limited, Bangalore, right? Association of Mutual Funds in India, AMFI, Mumbai. All India Radio, New Delhi. Advertising Standards Council of India, that is ASCI, Mumbai. Atomic Energy Regulatory Body Board, AERB, Mumbai. Then next, which we have considered, is Bharat Electricals Limited, BEL, which is at Bangalore. Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited, BSNL, New Delhi. Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI, Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI, Mumbai. Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, FEL, New Delhi. Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, BPCL, Mumbai. Bharat Dynamics Limited, BDL, Hyderabad. Banks Board Bureau, BBB, Mumbai. Bhilai Steel Plant, BSP, at Bhilai, Chhattisgarh. And second last that we have, last one we have considered yesterday is Border Roads Organization, BRO, which is at New Delhi. Right. So these were the different organizations we have gone through. Fine. Now, this yesterday I have seen some of the students' own note making process, right, which was quite appreciable, right. I'm delighted to have such students, those who are thinking to have their own notes, which is very, very important part while preparing anything, right. So preparing with your own notes is always good. Fine. So that is the most important case. I thought that I will not, at least in this first instance, I will not reveal the names, right? But commonly, everyone, those who have shown, I think 4 students, right? They have sent us the feedback through the screenshot or the photos or their notes, right? And that is quite appreciable, right? In next instance, I will definitely I will go with the names instead of just making it generalized. Now I wanted to provide everyone second chance. Rather, everyone deserves second chance. So those who haven't started to take your own notes, always start it at the earlier. It's really important. Anyway, next one is the Bureau of Indian Standards. Yes, it definitely, Akshay, it definitely enhances your confidence. It really boosts your confidence. Whenever you want to go back and see ready reference, right? It's like a miracle. So next is Bureau of Indian. Yes, Sid. It's very easy to learn through your own notes. Bureau of Indian Standards. Do you know one more thing, or the advantage of taking notes is, see, taking notes is always keep you active throughout the session. If something I miss, then you always catch it, right? Or you always ask it, right? So it is a two-way process, and it's necessary for the betterment of both of us, and obviously resulted into the glory of the academy. Anyway, so Bureau of Indian Standards. Now, this Bureau of Indian Standards, if you consider, it's it's a short form is BIS, whose headquarters is at New Delhi. Good morning, Samin. Right. And what about this Bureau of the Bureau of Indian Standards? Right. You know, there are national standards which are very important. Right. So as far as India is concerned, so the national standards body of India, right, which is working under the aegis of the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, right? Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. So this Bureau of Indian Standard is acting as the national standards body, right? Working under or in the aegis of Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. Fine. So if you consider this particular standard, Bureau of the Indian Standards, right, which is which is having the objectives such as to generate new knowledge that would help in continuously updating and upgrading the food safety standards, which are compatible with international organizations. Right, forget about international organizations, but upgrading and updating the food safety standards is very important. Right, so continuously updating and upgrading food safety standards. Fine. And to carry out the evidences based studies to improve or build policies, right? And to improve the policies. Now see, in this pandemic situation, Government of India has reached to around, according to Prime Minister's speech, Government of India has reached around 80 crore people, right, with the chain of food. Right? So they have provided food to 80 crore people of India. That means what? Public distribution. So see, this must have required, if it is true, this must have required a very good kind of public distribution policy, right? So that standards are always looked up by the Bureau of Indian Standards. Fine. So this we can consider, right, as one of the most important organizations of India. Fine. The next one we can consider is Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. Central Board of the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. Right. Whose headquarters is at New Delhi. Fine. Now, if you consider its name, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBITC. Right. Now, in CBIC, CBIC, so that very easily you can understand it or remember it. Fine. Now, what is meant by apratyaksh kar? Indirect taxes, apratyaksh kar, customs, sima shulk, right? So, the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs is nothing but a nodal agency which is responsible for administration of customs, GST, central excise, service tax, or narcotics in India. Right. So, if you consider the indirect tax or the direct tax, right? Indirect tax through the goods and services. For example, GST, right? So that's called indirect tax. Customs, excise duty, which is called central excise, right? Then narcotics. So these are the things, right, for which the CBIC is working as the Bureau of Indian Standards. Earlier one, yes, Bureau of Indian Standards. I think its establishment was, in my opinion, 1946. No, that was the Act, 1946. As far as I think its registration is according to the Societies Registration Act 1960 and Industry Supplies September 46. So its establishment, then there was one more act. But I guess it has come into existence in the month of December 86. Right? Just a minute. Bureau of Indian Standards Act 1986 came into existence. Yes, exactly on 23rd of December 1986. 23rd December 1986. So on this day, it has come to the effect, right? And according to, there was one act which was called Bureau of Indian Standard Act 1986. So this particular bureau has established according to that particular act on 23rd December 1986. Fine. Okay. So I was talking about CBIC. So as far as this CBIC is concerned, right? So as I said, nodal agency. It's nothing but nodal agency working at national level, which is responsible for administering customs, right, and indirect taxes through, you can consider GST, central excise, and narcotics. Fine. So that is the case which we can consider. Now here you might be having the or you would like to understand narcotics exactly, right? So you know basically the term narcotics was originally referred as which was in medically, right, of any psychoactive compound right? With the sleep, fine. So with the sleep inducing properties, and so it has been associated with the opiates and the commonly called as morphine or heroin, right? So according to that, so again from that, see, sometimes legally it requires, and huge tax has to pay on that particular, fine. So that's the reason why we have considered here narcotics, because we know the narcotics is in the in different way. 1964 or 19 what we can consider, since it is international, so it exists before independence, right, which we can consider, fine. Anyway, so in this, okay, if you consider the nodal agency, right, so in that particular case, exactly, you have to first understand the nodal, right? So as far as nodal is concerned, it is nothing but the a point, or the nodal denoting a point in the network, or let's say a diagram. For example, I don't know whether you have diagrams or any circuit, electronic circuit or electric circuit, you must have seen. Anyway, for example, I will tell you, we do have a boards at our home, and many times we plug our mobile charger in that particular plug. So for that particular plug, mobile charger, that plug is acting as the node, right? That is nodal, right? So which is called a point of network, right? Or one of the points in the network, right? So that is the nodal which we can consider, fine. So this is about the civic, right? Which is at New Delhi. The next one in this is the Central Bureau of Investigation. You know it. Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, exactly. Right, CBI. So it is at again New Delhi. Fine. So many times you must have heard this particular terminology, which is nothing but the one of the premier investigating agencies, right? Premier investigating agency. It works under the Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions. Okay, under Ministry of Personnel, Public, GRIVANCES, grievances and pensions. Fine. So it is headed at the New Delhi, right? The next one, which we can consider, is the Council of Scientific Research and Industrial Research. Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. which is called CSIR, whose headquarters is again at New Delhi. So its name its title itself indicates what about it is. So the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, right, is nothing but an autonomous body of government of India, which has emerged as the largest research and development organization, right? And autonomous, yes, it was started long back before independence. In fact, in wherever the Britishers have ruled, each of that particular country is having the CSIR, NPL, right? Then Bureau of Standards, because they thought about these particular things. So an autonomous research and development organization. Research and development organization. CSIR. Fine. So, and this has emerged as India as one of the largest research and development organization, which we can consider. You know, across the India, this is only for your let's say, information, that you need not to worry about it. But across India, there are 38 laboratories or institutes, 39 outreach centers, and 3 innovative centers, and 5 different units, right, are there, which are run by this CSIR, right, and collectively they have around 15,000 of the staff, right. So it's a very promising research and development organization of India, right. For example, you must have heard about NCL, right, National Chemical Laboratory, Pune. So it is under this particular organization, right. So there are such kinds of 38 laboratories across the India, which are run by this particular organization. Fine. Next one we can consider here is the Central Statistical Organization. Central Statistical Organization, right, which is called CSO, which is at again New Delhi. Now, what about this Central Statistical Organization, CSO? So again, it is the governmental agency working under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, and it looks to the coordination of statistical activities in India, as well as maintaining the statistical standards. Fine. So under Ministry of Statistics and Program
Hello.
Implementation. Huh? Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, sir. In that, I was copying the 19 point for my notes. In that point, you have written under ministry. That line, I can't understand what you have written after public. Hello.
Ministry of Personal Public Grievances.
Grievances and pensions. Right, sir?
Pensions. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
under Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions. Sorry. Okay, those who want to take the screenshot of this, they can. If anything is not visible clearly, you may ask. Okay, now in this particular case, if you consider okay, there was a question about what? No, okay, not clear. Okay, first, what I understood, Central Statistical Organization, New Delhi. Okay, under Ministry of Statistic and Program Implement. In that particular case, what I can do, I will. Shall I take its photo and share? Okay, prior to that, there was one more question. I think it was about meaning of the grievances. Okay, Akshay will do that. Okay, so what is grievances? It is nothing but a cause of complaint. Right. It is the complaint. But this cause of complaint can be imaginary or real. Always keep in mind. Fine. So, Akshay, can you have it in? No, I think it is better previous one. Those who wanted to have, they can take the screenshot of this. So I was talking about the meaning of grievances. It is nothing but cause of complaint. But cause of complaint cannot be every time imaginary, it can be real. Right? So either real or imaginary cause of complaint is called grievances. I hope you must have finished. अच्छा, आता क्लियर नहीं है. CID is one of the what we can consider the smallest units, which cannot be considered as the organization. So it is nothing but a department. Fine. I think the rhythm has broken. So what we can do for clarity? I guess now.
Okay. सर फोटो निकाल के दिखाओ बैंडविड्थ लो हो गई सर
Yes, I think I do have a problem of network. Anyway, then shall I take its photo and share?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Actually, sir, 4 minutes remaining, sir.
Okay, so then I will anyway. In between the break, I will share it. Fine. So let's continue. Central Statistical Organization. Fine. So as far as the Central Statistical Organization is concerned, Where is my pen? Okay. So, as I said, it is under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, and it is responsible for what is the difference between RAW and CBI and IB. I think, will you ask me this question when we will go for the internal security forces of India? Right. So we are having, since we are having a special session for that. Yes, I was talking about. It is responsible for thank you, Aditya, for coordination of statistical activities and maintaining statistical standards and maintaining statistical standards. Fine. So coordination of statistical activities and maintaining statistical standards is a prime duty of this particular government agency. Right. So it is located at New Delhi, which we can consider. Fine. Then the next one is the Confederation of Indian Industry. Confederation of Indian Confederation of Indian Industry. Which is written as CII, right? And its headquarters is at New Delhi. So what about this Confederation of Indian Industry is? Right. So it is nothing but industry association. Industry association. Right. So it works to create and sustain the environment which is conducive to develop the industrial growth in India.